All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest for you today. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Literacy, struggle, triumph, author. All the way from Houston, Texas, y'all, give it up for Mr. Darius Slaughter. How are you, sir?
Extraordinary. How about yourself?
Man, what's going on, man? It's all good, just chilling. I'm glad to have you on the show. And I want to talk to you today because you have some interesting things you have going on here. So let's get right into it if you don't mind.
Let's rock. Let's roll with it.
All right. Now, let's talk about something that you have going on. It's called the Beauty and Brains Challenge. And basically, it's a challenge, for the female side. And it's to iterate the fact that many people in America can't read. So one of my first questions to you is, why the focus on females?
Well, female is earth to start with. That's the foundation. So a lot of the stuff that even these youngsters do, the males do, a lot of the stupid stuff, the less smart things that they do is to impress the females. So if the females raise the bar as in accordance to what they're impressed by, the conversation that they have, then the males have to raise the bar with them. They have no choice. So it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. You had to start somewhere, so we're going to start with earth. Because at the end of the day, man's greatest weakness is females. Across the board, his foundation is females. He came from a female. You know what they say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
Okay, all right. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, all right. I like that, man. So in your opinion, let me ask, what do you think, some of these issues or problems originate from, as far as people not being able to read on even an 8th grade level?
A lot of these problems originate, well, first of all, it's a setup. It's not a mistake. You look at the school systems, underfunded, certain teachers within the school system allowed to basically not teach and be there for numbers. And then you go to other school systems, private schools, and you see the level that they're held to, the level they're demanded to teach at. So the system has been letting the community down for decades to start with. And on top of that, we get out here and we don't teach that it's cool to be educated anymore.
That's true.
Everything cool now. When I grew up, when you watch movies or you looked in the hood, whatever, and you had gangs that were taking care of the neighborhood. When you saw gangsters, they were in 3-piece suits. All the movies portrayed gangsters in 3-piece suits in 5-star hotels, driving the best cars. Somewhere along the line, the definition of gangster, thug, or whatever you want to call it, was flipped. And it went from that to being illiterate, ignorant, and inconsiderate. So this is what's acceptable now. So the females are a reflection of the males are a reflection of the females, and all of this has been jammed down their throat by social media, music. The powers that be have found 99 ways to kill the community. When crack didn't work, they backdoor. They went to social media. Now everybody switches on themselves. They spend more time trying to show what they don't have than trying to actually get it.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? I totally agree with you. You can look no further than Instagram, and as you said, they're out here snitching on themselves. They're telling you everything that they're doing. They don't. It's please.
It's crazy.
Stop. Just stop, please. Stop. All right. Now, speaking of social media, now you're using Facebook and Instagram as vehicles to promote your challenge. What has promoting your challenge via social media done for your cause and all of this?
So far, it's been a challenge. People are scared to read out loud, believe it or not. And you would be actually stunned at the people that say, "Yeah, I'm going to do it." And they're like, "Well, I don't know, man. I did it, and I kind of looked at it." They don't want to be judged. And I tell them, you don't have to read my book. You can read any book. Find anything that you like. It can be poetry. I don't care if you read a rap song out loud, one paragraph. I have found it's looking like the sororities are actually going to be majorly behind the push. Because at the end of the day, all these different people have all these different pledges and mottos and credos that we're going to help the community. And my question is always how? How have you helped? When we do Christmas drives, we make sure that we take everything to the Christmas drive. We drop it off ourselves. We don't just blindly donate money to anybody. You know, most of the time, those 501c3s, God bless the ones that do what they're supposed to do, but the majority of them are hoarding money and paying exorbitant rates to different people within their organization, and 10%, 20% of that money actually gets where they tell you it's going.
Wow. I got you.
So I'm really big on, you need clothes donated, we'll bring you the clothes. This money is for jackets, we'll bring you the jackets. This money is for, you know, essentials or the homeless people or whatever. We're going to bring you the essentials. We're going to go to Walmart and I'm going to buy toothpaste, toilet paper, combs, brushes, you know, hygiene products, whatever it is, and we will drop it off to you for you to distribute it. So you can distribute it, and we know that they got what they were supposed to get. That money didn't go to buy your new cereal, didn't go buy your new home, didn't pay your car note.
Got you. I got you. Now, okay, so those are some of the, now you talked about some of the negatives as far as people not wanting to read out loud because of embarrassment or they don't want to be judged. And, you know, to some degree, I understand that and I get that because at the end of the day, it's their ego on the line. And, you know,
correct.
And I'm going to tell you, a lot of young folks don't want to put their ego on the line for anything at all. So
a lot of people don't read anymore.
Well, I mean, you know, you have a phone and we have technology and all these things that can do it for us. Even with texting now, you don't have to like, text. I can just talk into like a little box and it's going to, well, hopefully for the most part, say everything that I want to say. You know how it is with this auto stuff, man. They'll tell God, they'll have you and some of everything weird except that, you know, the one thing you really wanted to say. But no, I totally look, I agree with you, you know, and you know, I feel it's a great challenge and I feel, you know, your, you know, reasons behind it is like great as well. So that's why I'm going to ask, like, have there been any success stories? Have there been people who have read aloud, like, you know what, I appreciate this. I never really thought about it in this sense or what have you, but thank you.
I've had several, and I'll have several more on deck. I'm actually holding what I'm calling the Beauty and Brains happy hour event. So I'll be holding happy hour events at several spots around Houston, and we'll be setting up and we'll be taping right there. And they can bring their own book, or I have several books out, several different types of books out, James Patterson books, some other books, the autobiography of Malcolm X. So they can pretty much pick what they want to read if they didn't bring anything. Doesn't necessarily have to be my book. I think a lot of people are very shocked at the illiteracy rate because they don't believe it. They've never seen it up close and personal, and they don't really believe that people can be functionally illiterate to where you know that, you know, red light is stop, green light is go, yellow light is try not to get hit, and they can make their mark for their name, but to pick up a book or read a magazine or get directions or application, they can't do it. And they don't believe it, even a large majority, I wouldn't say a large majority, but there are certain athletes, professional athletes that I've seen, they've gone all the way through college and they're barely functional.
Oh, well,
they've been pushed through.
You know, you pretty much know how it is. Hey, I mean, it's what you do for me. What can you do for the school? So if you can run, catch, shoot, throw, what have you, you know what I'm saying, for the school, we'll push you through, you know, and if you're reading,
and Lord,
you know, maybe.
And Lord forbid you blow an ankle. Lord forbid you get hurt. Lord forbid you get hurt. Then what?
You know what? I have this saying about D1 schools, especially the power schools. Athletes are like candy in a vending machine. Seriously, like, man, they can always go get another one just like you, you know? So if you don't work out, hey, we have 5 more in the back and we're going to pull those out because we have another shipment on the way and, you know, we have to get this product out. So they're like candy in a vending machine. So just choose what, you know, flavor you want. But anyway, we can talk about that all day. But man, how can people find your challenge on social media? So for the ones who are brave enough to go ahead and take your challenge, how can they find it?
The Instagram and the Facebook is at Hostile Book. On Instagram, it's one word, HOSTILEBOOK. On Facebook, it's Hostile Space Book. And if you want to take the challenge, all you have to do is DM me, you reading a paragraph. You can state your name, you can state your nickname. lately I've been telling people, state the organization. If you're affiliated with any organization, be it a sorority, be it your business, black-owned business, whatever it is, state what it is. And let everybody know that, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I'm supporting this cause. Because through reading, we gather information. After we gather information, we start to make wiser decisions. And we start to question what's put out in front of us. The problem now is that social media and regular media has led people to not question anymore. They want to believe everything they see. So whatever you tell me on CNN, whatever you tell me on Fox can be jaded, can be paid for as a lobbyist and whatever else. But we believe it because that's what we're told. We were told not to question now. This new generation, my generation, you had to go look it up in the encyclopedia. You actually had to work to get the information.
True.
But we were taught to question. Now you have all the information in the world right here, and it's right at their fingertips. They don't use it. They don't look for the information anymore. They don't look to question because they've been taught not to, systematically, not to question.
Not to question and to look for the wrong thing. Seriously. Now,
exactly.
To have them read, that's something totally, different. But if you wanted them to learn the newest dance craze or the latest shoe or, who scored however many points or did this last night in sports, man, they can pull that up right now. And I'm going to tell you, it's funny to me sometimes because I work with youth, I work at school, and they can tell you all these components about your phone. They can't read, on a, real strong level, but they can tell you everything, electronically wrong or how to get this or how to get that app or how to, get this sort of setting. And it's very astonishing to me, that this. You'll take time out to do this, but you won't take time out to do it. Even though what you're doing requires reading because you have to know the word setting, you have to know certain things. But, as you said, if they're doing just enough to get by, and I could be a functional illiterate person or what have you in society, then what's the point? All right.
I found that it's not a lack of intelligence, nor is it a lack of people trying to educate. It's a lack of application. They've just somebody stuck the banana in the tailpipe and made them believe that it's not important to read, to make them believe that it's not important to study. I've had some of the most profound conversations with people, and I've told them, you know what, you really need to do this, this, and this because you're actually really smart. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Listen to what you just told me. You just repeated something that you heard 2 years ago, almost verbatim. If you applied yourself and used that gift that you have, you can do anything you wanted to do. But it's up to you to apply it. I can't make you step into that lane. I can't make you do the work. But if you decide to change your life and move in that direction, and if nobody ever tells them that or nobody ever brings that to light, they'll continue down the road they're on and they'll wreck every time.
Now, that's something funny. I'm going to get into my next question in a second, but it's so funny that you said that because, sometimes I feel as if, those people who do try to bring, the issue to light, and it's not that, they're not doing it wrong or what have you. They just may not be able to communicate on the level that they need to get through. And I found that to be true in a lot of instances, it's not that what they're saying to them is wrong. It's just how the message is being conveyed to the other person. And if you can find a way to break down that wall, then all is peace. All is peace. But, man, speaking of
very
books,
true.
I'm looking behind you. I see the banner there. Let's talk about it right now. You have a book. It's called Hostile and Urban Tragedy. And this is a true account of eternal struggles, triumphs, failures, and pain as you played the game of life. All right? So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this book. What is this book about?
The book is about my last 7 years in the game. Just prior to me kicking off again, it's not a glorification or not. It's a true account of my mental motivations, what motivated me to make my decisions, and then the consequences and repercussions of those decisions. When you watch rap videos, you see the Bentleys, you see the pretty girls, and they don't give you the dark side.
No.
And then when most people give you the dark side, they don't want to talk about the big cars and pretty girls. But I give it all to you. I give it to you hand to hand. It's raw and cut. Now, it's not super animated. It's not, oh, his blood spilled out and his guts rolled down the concrete. It is an internal look at my memories that I started to jot down as soon as I signed for my time. Because my life was so crazy for so many years. And it was unbelievable to us even while we were living it. It was like, did we really just do this? Yeah, no, boy, nobody ever gonna believe this. Right. Like, we sit around still to this day, certain individuals that are still here, and laugh like, bro, I don't know how we lived this long. I don't know how we made it to this point in life. And a lot of these kids won't make it. You know, they don't take it as a business. They can tell you every cheat code on a video game, but they'll get out here and do something and make a decision on their life and get 30, 40 years. And I live in Texas. Texas has the biggest prison system, has the biggest prison system in the country. We have a bigger prison system in Texas than most countries have.
Crazy. That's crazy.
And when you start to tell people, you know, yeah, I had a brand new Navigator when they first came out. I had an $80,000 truck. That's cool. But the homie got locked up when his little girl was 3. He come home when she was 25. He missed her whole life. She was graduating from college with a kid when he came home.
Wow.
So we don't talk about that part. We don't talk about the homie calling home telling you to go track his kids down because his baby mom stopped answering the phone. And you had to go literally track a whole city with 4 million people to find his kids, to put eyes on his kids, to talk to his kids, and make sure his kids are okay. We don't talk about that part.
Wow. And I mean, that's real. And, you know, like, that's part of the game that, as you said, no one wants to talk about because it's all about the fights and it's all about, you know, positive instead of like
the fantasy, the pop culture, the pop fantasy that we have about all of this. And then when these rappers get killed, everybody is shocked and stunned. Yeah, man, I can't believe they shot him. He was so positive. All they talk about so dope. All they talk about shooting people. If you want to get in the game, get in the game. That's what it is. It's a business. It's every day. You don't turn it on and off. Okay. It's a lifetime of paranoia, violence. It's a lifetime of dysfunction. And if that's what you signed up for, and to me, it was always business to me. I always kept it in that stage in my mind. This is business. This is a job. This is what it is. This is what goes with it. If you want to play this game, this is how you got to rock.
Yeah.
But it takes its toll on you. It wears you out to a point. You know, everything costs. What they teach you in school, economics, opportunity costs, you have to give to get. Yeah. So the more that we get, the more we give. So you lose a little piece of yourself every time you have to go to the next level. Every time you have to go off the deep end. Every time you go to a funeral. Every time you go to court and see the homie get 20 years. And then you see his baby mom in the mall, or you see his baby, or you go to check on his family, you know, they kids look bad, baby mother looks bad, wife looks bad. You know, that's the part of the game people ignore. That's the part that people choose to whitewash that side of the game. So in my book, I don't whitewash it. This is what it is. This is where I'm at. This is what happened. This is how I rolled. This is how I kicked off. And this is how it came down. And this is mentally how I feel. I didn't hide it. This is how I felt. When they told me the fat man, the feds hit the fat man, I sat up in my bed, stone straight, like sick. My stomach hurt because that's my guy.
Right.
You know, he gone. He's out.
Right. So look, let me ask you this, man. What can readers, like, man, if someone goes out, gets this book, what can they take from this book?
First and foremost, the reality that there are consequences and repercussions for every decision that you make. There's going to be one. A good decision is going to have a great consequence. A bad decision is going to have another consequence. You may win on the bad side 1,000 times, but you only have to lose once. They only had to get you once. Once they got you in the system, they got you. You know, it's the hindsight of 2020 and all that. Like I said, I took it as a business, so I never cried about it. It was what it was. I knew what it was.
Right.
We had a saying in my crew, risk versus reward. Hey man, y'all know what it is. You know what we got to get done. It's risk versus reward. If you're not about this, then you might want to move around because you know what's going on. Gotcha. So hey, this risk versus reward, let's roll. So every day, but a lot of people don't have that understanding of it. It's a game to them until they realize that they're playing on somebody else's scale and they really don't have any pull. They have no pull. They have no lawyer money. You got new tennis shoes. You got new hats, but you don't have money for a lawyer. You don't have money for bond. Now, once they get you in court, they give you that court appointed. The court appointed is a ward of the court. He's paid by the court. His job is to get you in and off the docket as quickly as possible. He doesn't really care how much time you get. He just wants you to sign. he or she wants you to sign and get you out of the courtroom. That's their job. They're not there to make sure you don't get a bad deal. They're not there to make sure you don't get shafted. There may be a couple of them with good hearts that try not to get you jammed, but for the most part, they work for the court. Their job is to get you in and out of court as quickly as possible. So you're basically putting your life in the hands of the enemy and saying, treat me nice.
Hey, look, the man is giving you the game right here, man. Look, y'all better listen to him. Seriously, I'm trying to tell you. So, man, you just broke down a lot. And right now, there's a Darius Slaughter out there right now going through it, man. You know, they're probably way down that path, or they're going through it, or they're trying to come out of it. What words of wisdom can you relay upon them now?
Take a step back. Take a step back, maybe if it's 30 minutes, if it's an hour, if it's take a day. Because we used to take day vacations. We like, hey, we on vacation today. And we disappear, man. We go out to Kima, which is like the little waterfront out here, and eat and get away and breathe to get away from it. You know, just get away from everything for a day. I'm not answering phones today. Don't call. I'm not coming out. I'm not, quote unquote, you know, we call it working. We're not working today. We're taking a day off. Take a minute and sit back and ask yourself really what you want. First of all, weigh what you have to lose. You know, I don't have kids. I'm 48 years old. I started 48 in October. I have no kids. Never been married. So for all for all practical purposes, I'm a white elephant. I'm shocking. I'm 48 years old, never been married, no kids. You know, my consequences and my repercussions hit me, hit my mom, of course, hit my brother really hard. My brother and I are inseparable. Hit my sister and my man, whatever. But at the end of the day, I was free and clear. A lot of these cats that have kids, think about the strain that you're gonna put on your children. Who's gonna raise your children? Look at the world today, how hard it is on kids, how dangerous it is for a child. Are you willing to leave your children out here for somebody else to raise?
Yeah.
Is your significant other, and that's speaking of females too, whether you're male or female, is your significant other strong enough to raise your children and keep them safe in this world today?
That's real.
What about your parents? What is the status of your parents and your grandparents? Do you think you can go do this bid without getting that funeral call? Without getting that DOA call? Getting called down to the warden's office to tell you that your mother passed? I was blessed. Everybody made it through. Everybody made it when I was gone. But there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
There's a million that don't. And you get that phone call, mom's passed, daddy passed, you wasn't there. Maybe it was something that you probably could have helped with. Maybe you could have helped with some medical bills. Maybe you could have helped with some medication. Maybe you could have just been there to say goodbye. These are the things you have to look at. What's the long term? What's the exit plan? Because nobody sells dope forever. It tells you in the front of my book, in the intro, it's 2 exits. You're going to get a 6-foot cell, or you're going to get a 6-foot casket. You're going to get a box, or you're going to get a cell. That's the exits.
One of the two.
Those are the game. Less than 0.1% or 1% of hustlers and drug dealers retire from the game. Make it through, never do time, buy a business, live in the suburbs quietly. You are not Frank Lucas. Relax. Between everybody snitching, social media, everybody taping everything on cell phones, the technology that law enforcement is using now, you're probably not going to get out. So what's your exit plan? Do you have your money put up for your lawyer? Do you have your bond money put to the side? If you're out here driving a Bentley with a paper plate on it, you probably don't even have your bond money put to the side. Where's your bread? What's your plan? Because my lawyer was on speed dial. My lawyer got an installment every month. They had a retainer.
Right.
He got paid every month.
Right.
So when I got hit, I made a phone call. They came. They were up. They got up. When I called the phone at 3, 4 in the morning, my lawyer woke up and answered my phone calls. The whole crew had the same lawyer. If one of us called, they get up out the bed.
Gotcha.
It's one of them.
Gotcha.
You know, but what level are you playing the game at? Are you playing the game at baseball caps and tennis shoes? Are you playing the game at strip club money? And if you are, do you have the money to get yourself out of that? Or are you playing the game at, Fed time level? Are you looking at 20 years Fed? Are you prepared to go do that 20 day for day? Because I got partners that did it. I got blessed to not have to do it, but I have partners that did 15 flat, 20 flat, 25 flat.
Yeah.
One of my best friends left all his 20s and half his 30s in the penitentiary.
That's all of your good prime years, man.
Gone.
I'm gone. And
living vicariously through family and magazines.
Dude, and I mean, man, that's just real talk. And, you know, I think those are real words, and those are words that I just feel a lot of people need to hear, especially now, man, with everything that's going on. And pretty much like you said, with people snitching, with technology itself, there's cameras everywhere. And even if there aren't any cameras, there's people with cameras because everybody has a phone. Everybody loves it.
So the first thing they do is
pull out their phone.
First thing.
You know, and somehow, some way it's going to get out there. So I feel you are correct, man. You are correct. So, man, you know, how can people find you if people want to get in contact with you, man, to talk to you about your book, man, about your life, you know, about everything that's going on with you? How can people find you, man?
Man, mostly through social media because I check it every day. So if you want to talk to me, you can hit me on social media. I'll send you my number. I don't have a problem talking to anybody. Everybody goes through it. You know, everybody needs somebody to talk to. It's always somebody. Everybody learns something from somebody somewhere. We all were taught, you know, on the right side of the law. You know, had grandparents, and some of us were blessed. You know, I had my grandparents, hard-working individuals. My mom, my dad worked hard. You know, a lot of people around me worked hard. And even on the wrong side of the law, I was taught by the right people. I was taught to play the game with honor. I was taught to play the game the right way. You know, there was, as far as loyalty, I grew up in an era where loyalty was everything. You know, snitching now is like every day. It's commonplace. In my day, you didn't want to wear that jacket. You just assume be dead than wear the snitch jacket.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's a different world now. They look upon certain things and call it cool and think it's okay, and it's really not. You know, your character is something that you can't give away. They can't take that from you. They can take your time from you. They can take your money from you, but they can't take your character from you. You have to give that away.
That's true.
Or you didn't have it in the first place.
That's real. Hey, man, look, that is real, dude. Like, I just want to thank you for coming on the show, man, and just sharing your story and telling everybody, man, this real, like, talk. And we've come to the last question, the question that my show is known for, so I have to ask, man, Mr. Darius Slaughter, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Let me show you. It's right here across my throat. It says hostile, right across my throat. That's the exact pattern that it's in right there. HOSTILE. Because everything that has been said against me, that's set in stone that says that I can't do this and I can't do that. You have felonies now, so you can't get an apartment. You can't get a lease now. You know, I caught my last case in 2001. It's 2020. That'll take the rest of my life. I defy all odds, rules, clandestine missions to say that I can't do anything across the board. I am the enemy of all those rules, laws, theories that say that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't survive, you can't thrive. Now you just have to exist. You're a felon. You have to exist. I went from convict to corporate. I work for a company that's traded on stock exchange. So I tell people all the time, I went from convict to corporate. I work with some of the people that are the best at micromanaging and doing what they do in their sector and in their lane. And as such, as a supervisor, not just work, I am a supervisor. Been a supervisor for 6 years now. When I travel, when I put my book out, my book is self-published. So I didn't get the major machine behind it. A lot of people were scared of it. Oh, it's too raw. It's too uncut. You need to take this chapter out. You need to take that chapter out. Why would I not give you the whole story and expect you to figure out what I'm trying to tell you?
Gotcha.
You need it. I can't take out key phrases and key parts. Now, this is 1/1000th of what I went through. But this is enough of it in a selective format for you to understand the madness and the sadness that the game takes you through, because nobody else wants to talk about that part. We leave that part out. Yeah, I went and bought the truck. Nobody knew what it was. Yeah, I had 3 or 4 other cars and motorcycles and runway models and everything else. But when I went in that courtroom and signed for that time, it was me, myself, and I.
That's it.
I kissed my brothers on the forehead, told them to take care of each other. I'll see y'all when I get home. I'll be home when I get home. Be careful. Take care of each other. And I stepped off.
Yes.
I took my time like a man. I didn't cry about it. I didn't whine about it. It is what it is because it was business to me. Now, there's a whole lot of people down right now writing letters at home, driving these little girls miserable, tripping on their family, tripping on their kids. But like you said, they know, even in the penitentiary, they know everything about every sports player. But if I ask you what your son's favorite food is, you can't tell me.
Well, man, once again, like I said, hey, Darius Slaughter, you heard what he said, hostile. I'm going to say he real because everything that he just said, man, it's real life, it's real talk. And man, like I said, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. He definitely has a story. Check him out. This has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I'm your host, Ty Brownlow. You can find me on social media. Man, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Word with Ty Brownlow. Catch me on Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV, or if you want to go get this interview, plus other great interviews, TyBrownlow.com. Darius Slaughter, I thank you for being my guest today, brother.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right. We
Take
out.
care.
Peace.